Hi friends, it's Andrea and we're here today in my home studio. I am going to show you some of the projects that I am working on, and I hope that offers you some inspiration for the weekend ahead. And then we're going to try something a little different and see how it goes. We're going to do a clean with me video. The studio has gotten a little cluttered. I'd prefer to have some white clear surfaces. So if that sounds like fun to you, do me a favor, give the video a thumbs up and we'll jump right in. Okay, so one project that I'm really excited to share with you is a modified version of my zip top market bag tote. I have a step-by-step tutorial for this bag, and I will link to that down in the show notes for you so that you can make this project with ease. This is the modified version of that bag. So I just wanted to walk you through the changes that I made to this bag. I want you to craft the bag exactly like I do in the step-by-step tutorial. And then after the bag is completely finished, you're going to take this top accent panel, which is significantly wider. You'll see that in the video. And you're just going to fold that inward and create a nice recessed zipper. That adds a completely different look to this bag. And then as a little added security detail, that lip that we fold in covers the tops of the interior pockets. So at first glance, when you look in this bag, it doesn't look like there are any pockets, but in reality, there are 3 on each side. So I thought that was a nice touch for this bag, and I had a lot of fun debating whether or not to do that to it. It also gives it more of a rectangular shape, which is nice. So have fun with your prints. This time I took a little bit of a risk and I put the lighter print on the bottom, and I rather like that look. So this is a really fun sew. Start to finish, it takes me less than 2 hours. So if you're just looking for a great weekend project or a quick gift for someone special to you, I highly recommend the Zip Top Market Tote. And you can add the modification or skip it all together and craft it as I do in the video. So that's my first idea for you. I am still ruminating over this darn carry-all bag. It came together so good. The video was stellar. It's just, as I mentioned, I recorded it in way too high of a quality. I'm even super nervous making this video for you that it won't edit and upload, because I don't know if this is a problem with my computer, with the iMovie software, or what it is, but fingers crossed this video makes it to you. And then I don't know if you forgot, I didn't forget, but I certainly have procrastinated. I started working on what I was calling the lazy day tote, and it is still so stinking cute, and I do need to finish that. I had promised you a step-by-step written tutorial for this, so I have not forgotten. It's just other things got in the way, like the carry-all bag, and kind of consumed way more of my time than I had hoped. So I would like to revisit this lazy day tote and finish that up and deliver the step-by-step tutorial that I promised you. So that's something else I'm working on. And then what got me out of bed today and excited was the quilt that we are working on in Studio 365. Every quarter we pick a new group quilting project, and this month we are working on the Fat Quarter Fireball quilt by Revelation Quilts. There's a free video that'll show you step by step how to make it, and then there's a paid tutorial. I bought the paid tutorial because I wanted to make the twin size quilt, and it's just easier for me to have a written document and not have to watch a video, surprisingly enough, right? So I want to show you those colors that I've selected for that quilt. I'll be working on these blocks this weekend. The quilt is due by the third week in March. Our quilting group now is integrated into Studio 365, and we meet on the last Thursday of the month. So I have about one more month to finish this project. I've just been working on it about once a week, so I'm taking my time and it's coming together nice. All right, so this is what the block looks like, and I am going to have several variations of that will come together, I hope, to create a stunning effect. I'll be certain to share photos of the finished quilt, but last night I finally figured out, thanks to the help of the ladies over in Studio 365, how to actually take these squares and then get them into the finished block, which can be used to create a variety of designs. So make sure you check out that quilt by Revelation Quilts if you're interested in that. So I shared on Instagram a picture of this fabric that I selected to work with, and the name of this particular print is Bamboo Texture. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I worked with it last night and made this free project pouch by Country Cow Designs. So in the Country Cow tutorial, this front pocket is vinyl. I opted to use mesh instead because remember, I'm only working with what I have on hand. That is part of my sustainability challenge for 2025, and so far it's towards the end of February. I am keeping my word. I have not purchased any supplies. Yay me. So I put a full-length mesh pocket on each side of that. The tutorial that is, again, completely free and you can download from the Country Cow website has a vinyl pocket, but it worked out really good. It's so easy to sew, and I was thrilled that I was happy with how the binding came around the edge. Before I took the challenge to use what I have, I had purchased this book, and so I used that to get a nice finish on the binding on that project. So highly recommend this project, and this comes together like in under an hour. So if you need a great project bag, or what I'm going to use mine for is packing, I think it would be great for packing smaller items in the suitcase, and this will fit right inside the suitcase and lay nice and flat. When you're not using it, it rolls up easy there, and you could even take it in your suitcase rolled up and then use it on your way home when you're trying to sort clean or dirty laundry. So that's another great idea for you. And then the last project that I worked on this week was a reuse or reimagine project in which I took an old stained sweatshirt, created a clear acrylic template for that front kangaroo pocket, and covered up those stains on that pocket and the sleeves and in the chest area by adding some fun little patches, which I stitched on with embroidery floss. So I actually talk about this project in this week's newsletter, so I'm going to link to that down in the notes for you too. The weekly newsletter is completely free, and I publish that on Thursday mornings at approximately 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You can read through the past publications of that as well. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the publication. It's a great way to stay connected with me in between these videos, which I recognize right now are kind of sporadic. Okay, friends, now we got to clean this space up. Hopefully we can tell a difference after we're done. The number one way to make a difference in the feel of your space is to give it a little tidy. And oftentimes I find when I do spruce up my space, then I'm even more inspired to come into it and work and create. If you only have just a few minutes, take this one challenge and clear one surface. So let's jump right in. The first thing I want to do is get all of my quilt blocks back in their project bag. And then I made a note last night when we were sewing. One of my friends was working on this adorable pouch. It's called the Harlequin Pouch by Woodland Stitches. More inspiration for you, so check that out. It's absolutely precious. I intend to make one next month. This is what still remains in the solo craft box. I have about 2 yards of a home decor fabric. I have some faux vinyl, which would be perfect for that Harlequin pouch that I mentioned earlier. And then I have, looks like about 3 zippers left, so that's great. And then this little stack of remnants. So there's hope, I would say, but I've been keeping the contents of that craft box in here. I do need to make a decision if I'm going to go ahead and pull a box for March and open that opportunity up again to the members of Studio 365, or if I'm just going to curate a solo craft box for myself. I'm kind of still waffling about that. Okay, I almost have a clear surface here. I have some rivets that have come out of their package. I'm going to need a better solution for this. I cut open this little bag of rivets here and then they spilled out, so I need to find something that I can seal these up in. And now I have 3 surfaces that are clean. Yay! I like to lay my prepped materials on this back counter. This is my main sewing surface here, so I have a larger 36 by 24 inch mat here. And then this primarily is the space where I keep my laptop for live sew-togethers, so that's off of my workspace. This is my quilting machine here, and then this is my semi-industrial Juki here. I keep a little bank of sewing tools right here. This front table is slightly higher, so you probably can't see those, but I keep them in just like a little caddy here. And those are the things that I'm just using in the moment when I'm working. And then one of the last things I want to do is find a place to store my now bursting project bags. And so I happen to have this trusty stool here, and it looks like it might work really well for holding these project bags upright. So I'm going to load it up and see if that's the case. And then that tucks right under the counter there, and I think that that'll work really good. It's a wonderful way to use up some otherwise voided space. Have a look around your space and consider where you might have some unusable space that you could just tuck some things right into. I hope you found some inspiration in this video. Don't forget to check out my free weekly newsletter, and I'll see you soon. Have a beautiful weekend, everyone. Thanks for spending this time in the studio with me.